Hey guys, it is time for our embedding quotes workshop round two, mainly because I looked at your evaluations and I was seeing a lot of the same mistakes over and over again. So I want to address those mistakes in this workshop and then give you an opportunity to practice embedding quotes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you samples that I pulled directly from the evaluation and then show you how to fix those. So in this example, the writer did a really good job of embedding the quote. It flows well with the sentence. However, the citation makes it sound clunky. So China has given $20 million to the World Health Organization, according to Elias. This, according to Elias at the end, makes the reader kind of pull out of the sentence. And so it doesn't make as much sense. I would recommend just at the end, in parentheses, putting the author's last name. And then if you have the page number, you want to do that. So that's all I changed in this one. Is a really good job. The next one says COVID-19 has caused many devastating losses for the Health Silk Road. The COVID-19 outbreak has given it a kickstart that was rather necessary. Because of the way this sentence is worded, we don't quite understand here what's happening in the middle of the sentence. And so we need to highlight that relationship. So all I did for this sentence is I add the word but. So COVID-19 has caused many devastating losses, but for the Health Silk Road, the COVID-19 outbreak has given it a kickstart that was rather necessary. Notice there is a space between the quotation mark and the parentheses here. And then I included the page number and the period goes on the outside. This is how you do it every single time. The next sentence is a little bit more complicated. One way that trade has such a heavy influence in the world is with China's BRI project, which is a project that has raised red flags with status quo, causing worldwide concern about the final product, which is to become the main trade power in the world, parentheses, Elias Belt Route Initiative. So first thing to point out is the citation is incorrect, right? You need a space. You need a space right here. You don't need the Belt Route Initiative. You just need a page number and you don't need a comma here. But you do have the period on the outside, so that's good. So the first thing I did is I lowercase the letter I. Remember, the quote should flow with your sentence, and it's punctuated according to your sentence. And then this part right here, the final product, which is to become, doesn't make sense. And so I changed that as well. So one way that trade has such a heavy influence in the world is with China's BRI project, which is a project that has raised red flags with the status quo, causing worldwide concern about China becoming one of the main trade powers in the world, in parentheses, Elias, and then a page number. This one's really long, and when you see what I do to it, you're going to be like, what is she thinking? But I promise it's going to be better. Longer is not always better. So Pakistan has been used as a good example in the way China has manufactured and managed the new expansions they are making with the country. Quote, also mass-scale job creation is a dire need of the country that can be facilitated by CPEC. In this context, any expansion of BRI or new initiatives by China will have great relevance and importance for Pakistan. Digital Silk Route, Health Silk Route, for instance. So this quote, number one, is not embedded. Number two, it's not cited correctly. And number three, it's definitely not under that 10 to 15 word limit. So the first thing I do is I take out a whole bunch of this sentence. Any of the parts that don't make sense, I cut them. And look, I only add the word through. So we went from this to this. Pakistan has been used as a good example in the way China has managed the new expansions through mass-scale job creation that can be facilitated by CPEC. Again, the citation is exactly the same here. And if you look right here, I did add an ellipses. So these three periods in a row are called an ellipses. And that is just showing that I'm taking out part of the quotation. So that's the examples from the workshop. And now I just want to show you three more samples. So there is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve, the fear of failure. And that's by Paulo Coelho, which I thought was relevant since he wrote The Alchemist, which we've been reading. This is three different ways that you can embed that quote correctly. So Coelho argues that one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve is the fear of failure. So notice I have a closed quote here and I have another open quote here, and I put is in the middle to make my sentence make sense. I also don't have to add the citation at the end because I referenced the author at the beginning. The second one, dreaming is good. Sorry, these little pictures weren't in there originally, and so they're blocking part of my words. Dreaming is good for the soul, And the only thing that can keep us from achieving our dreams is the fear of failure. Here you see my quotation marks. You see in parentheses, I have Coelho and a period on the outside. And then the last one is the fear of failure can keep us from attempting our dreams. And then Coelho, period. All three of these are done correctly. So I have the quote at the beginning, I have the quote at the end, and then I have the quote kind of in the middle and mixed up. You can do this anyway, as long as your sentence makes sense. That's all I want in this whole world, is for your sentence to make sense. So now you're going to practice. Aren't you excited? Your quote is, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse, by Jim Rohn. So what you're going to do is you're going to open this presentation, which is linked in the agenda. You're going to follow this link and complete the evaluation for this workshop. You are only able to submit one time, so make sure you do it correctly. And follow the directions. I believe in you.